From mid-June to early July 2025, Guizhou province in southwest China experienced record-breaking rainfall during the Mayu monsoon season. Major rivers such as the Qishui exceeded warning levels for the first time since 1953, 24h.com.vn, Reuters. Rongjiang County and the city of Rongjiang were among the hardest-hit areas, with floodwaters reaching record heights and prompting mass evacuations. Authorities activated the highest emergency response level, Level 1, on June 28th to 29th and began de-escalating once rainfall subsided, Laotian Times. At least 6 people died, with some sources reporting up to 9 fatalities, and around 80,000 to 90,000 residents were displaced, Al Jazeera. Extensive material damage was reported, including washed-away bridges, mud-covered sports fields, up to 60 centimeters thick, submerged vehicles, and damaged homes. 24h.com.vn, Al Jazeera. The central government allocated 200 million yuan, 27 million USD, for recovery efforts, Al-Qaeda-VN. 2. Flood progression. Initial phase, torrential rains, and the Mayu front. From mid to late June, Guizhou was heavily impacted by the Mayu rain front, an east-west aligned weather system that causes prolonged and intense rainfall from the Yangtze River to southern China. The southwest monsoon brought in large volumes of moisture from the Indian Ocean and Northwest Pacific, clashing with cold air masses from the north to form severe and widespread rain bands. In Rongjiang and surrounding cities, rainfall in just 72 hours exceeded twice the monthly average, putting enormous pressure on rivers and flood control systems. Peak flooding, record water levels. At key hydrological stations, peak river levels reached 256.7 meters, surpassing safe thresholds by more than 2 meters, marking the highest floodwaters since 1954. Authorities forecasted continued high water levels, with expectations of 253.5 meters, still well above danger levels. The Qishui and other rivers in the province saw their highest levels since 1953, Reuters. Mass evacuations and emergency response. Nearly 40,000 people were evacuated from Rongjiang by June 28th, Al-Qaeda-VN. The total number of displaced people across Guizhou was estimated between 80,000 and 90,000. 7 areas within Rongjiang were placed under emergency evacuation orders. Emergency response coordination between local, provincial, and central authorities was activated at full scale. Aftermath and recovery. As rainfall eased by the morning of June 29th, authorities began transitioning to recovery and cleanup operations. Over 70 pieces of heavy machinery, excavators, bulldozers, and trucks were mobilized to clear mud and debris, rebuild roads and public infrastructure, and assist affected communities. 3. Impact of the flood. Human toll. At least 6 people were confirmed dead, with some reports citing up to 9 fatalities or missing persons. Landslides and infrastructure collapses, including a truck nearly falling off a bridge, highlighted the dangers posed to transportation and rescue personnel. Displacement and community disruption. Tens of thousands of people were left homeless or in temporary shelters, many living in school halls and public buildings. Local sports fields, bridges, and public roads were buried under up to 60 centimeters of water. One main football stadium was destroyed. Villages such as Yangjiaoyun were completely cut off, with over 600 residents lacking access to food, clean water, or medicine. Economic damage. Initial estimates of the damage reached hundreds of millions of yuan, with losses to infrastructure, housing, agriculture, and public facilities. The central government deployed 200 million yuan, 27 million USD, in emergency funds to support recovery and aid. For causes and contributing factors, Mayu season and the southwest monsoon. The prolonged Mayu front combined with the southwest monsoon and cold air from the north created extreme rainfall and flooding. With the soil saturated, further rainfall resulted in flash floods and landslides, especially in mountainous terrain like Guizhou. Climate change. Experts noted that climate change is increasing the intensity and frequency of extreme weather events in China. China is particularly vulnerable due to its high population density and many urban areas lacking resilient flood control systems. Rapid urbanization and weak infrastructure. Many rural and semi-urban areas in Guizhou lack advanced flood defenses or early warning systems. Rapid construction in hilly or flood-prone areas has worsened water runoff and soil instability. 5. Government response and preparedness. From local to national coordination, county and provincial governments quickly activated Level 1 emergency response, mobilizing the military, police, and fire brigades. The central government coordinated financial, material, and human resources to assist on the ground. Evacuation and relief logistics. Tens of thousands of people were safely evacuated to schools, community centers, and higher ground. Drones were deployed to deliver food and supplies to isolated areas like Yangjiayuan village. Communication and public awareness. Emergency flood warnings were widely broadcast on CCTV and through village loudspeakers, mobile alerts, and official channels. However, some mountainous or remote villages reported delays in receiving warnings. 6. Lessons learned and recommendations. Infrastructure reinforcement and flood thresholds. There is a critical need to strengthen riverbanks, dams, bridges, and other infrastructure to withstand heavier floods. Local and regional authorities must update risk maps and simulate extreme flood scenarios. Early warning systems and public education. Ensure that emergency alerts reach all residents, particularly in remote or mountainous areas. Train residents in flood response techniques and emergency preparedness. Long-term climate adaptation planning. Invest in sustainable land use planning, rainwater management, and natural buffers, e.g., wetlands. Expand national climate resilience programs and integrate climate risk management into all levels of policy. Post-flood support and sustainable recovery. Provide long-term support to displaced residents, including land reclamation, asset replacement, and microcredit access. Establish a national flood insurance fund and targeted reconstruction programs. The historic floods that hit Guizhou in the summer of 2025 caused devastating losses in lives, infrastructure, and livelihoods. With rainfall levels reaching unprecedented highs and early warning systems still limited in scope, the region faced one of its worst natural disasters in decades. The combined effects of prolonged monsoon rains, climate change, and underdeveloped infrastructure created a perfect storm. However, timely government intervention and coordinated evacuations helped limit casualties and reduce long-term damage. Moving forward, Guizhou and other flood-prone areas in China must strengthen their infrastructure, improve emergency preparedness, and implement long-term adaptation strategies to cope with increasingly volatile weather patterns.